All right, did any of you guys catch the Jordan Peterson Pierre Poilievre interview? Well, if you didn't, that's okay because I watched it last night, and I'm going to break down the best and favorite moments from Pierre Poilievre during this interview. I'm going to do this in a few segments because it is very long, so I'm going to basically be breaking this down into many parts. So today I'm going to start with the first two segments, which, again, are my favorite parts and Pierre's best moments, in my opinion. So let's have a look at this, and then we'll talk about it after, like usual.
Right, so people are positive in consequence of that. So it's a lot easier to lead an organization when it's successful.
That's
Obviously,
right.
people are much more enthusiastic.
Yes.
Why do you think you're in that position? What's going on that's setting the stage for that? And I don't just mean the failures on the Trudeau side. I mean, what do you think you guys are doing right?
Well, we have a clearer mission statement, and people know exactly why we're in this. Whenever someone asks me if they say, I'm thinking of running for parliament or for mayor or some other political position, what's your advice? Well, I say, well, before I get to the advice, I have a very simple question. Why do you want this job? Mm-hmm. And it might seem like a simplistic question, but it's actually the most important question in life. Why? Why are you doing what you're doing? And our answer to that is to bring back the Canadian promise that anyone who works hard gets a great paycheck and a pension that buys them good food and a nice home and a safe neighborhood, that anyone from anywhere can do anything and that people are in charge of their own lives.
Great.
That's effectively what we want to deliver. So every day when I'm in Parliament...
So that's a very local vision in a sense, right? It doesn't have the grandiosity of an international utopian vision, for example.
Well, maybe
it's very down to earth.
I think people are sick and tired of grandiosity. In fact, I think there's something grand about a family that can go on a nice road trip and share stories and build lasting memories that the kids will remember when they're 85 years old.
Despite
I think that's
producing all that nasty carbon dioxide.
That's right. I think those things are grand. And I think with the problem we've had in this country and in all of the countries that have been afflicted by this horrendous utopian wokeism is that it's been focused on the grandiosity of the leadership of the egotistical personalities on top and not the things that are grand and great about the common people. And that is another reason why I think we're doing very well. People are saying, finally, there's someone who's focused on letting me take back control of my own life and create a great future for my family. So that is, to answer your question, one of the reasons why we've had such incredible success over the last 2 years.
In the beginning...
So, I mean, those are some great answers, and I love how he just brought up wokeism into this, because that's really what it is, right? Every single person who believes in the hysteria involving the weather, I won't say the C word, because I know YouTube kind of gets their panties in a bunch over it, but everyone who is woke also believes in everything they hear in terms of the weather. Isn't that odd? Weird coincidence, too, huh? I also love where he talked about how, the Canadian promise. You work hard, you have a powerful paycheck that buys you good food, a quality home, and a quality neighborhood. What's happening right now? There are people out there, young men and women, who are working their asses off, right? 50, 60, 70 hours a week, or even maybe more. And yeah, they can afford rent and have a little bit of money left to save after their bills and a little bit of spending. But I mean, even then, even if you save a couple grand a month, which first of all, good luck with that. But even if you can, okay, that's $24,000 a year. Let's say you go and buy a house right now that's $600,000 or so. It's not going to be a nice house. It should be, but it won't be. 10% of $600,000 is 60 grand. It's going to take you years just to save up for a crappy, overpriced house in a bad neighborhood. That's what 600 grand gets you today. And that's not right. And that's one of the biggest issues that Pierre Poilievre has on his table. And that's not going to be an easy one because it's going to take a long time for him to get all these houses built. But at least we can kind of progress into in a good direction for a change, because we've been just completely ass backwards for the last 10 years. So that's why I wanted to show this clip, because Pierre Poilievre, when he doesn't seem like just another average politician who's going to do nothing for us. He seems legitimately bothered by these things, and that's what I really like the most about him. The second part I wanted to show you here, let me just get to this. Okay, we'll just start from here, and then we'll talk about the second clip after.
Okay, so there's a lot of distrust, generally speaking, in relationship to, I would say, establishment organizations and political elites all across the West. A lot of that well-earned. Why should Canadians believe that the vision that you just laid out is something that you hold personally dear and not merely what would you say, a set of carefully calculated campaign slogans?
Well, I look back at everything I've done for my entire political career to the time I was a teenager. You know, some people even dug up my old university essays, and I've been saying precisely the same thing the entire time. You know, when I was 20, I wrote an essay as Prime Minister I would, and the title was Building Canada on Freedom. And the entire piece was about making the government small and maximizing personal freedom. So that's basically what I'm doing now.
So you have consistency
well, there were
going
things,
for you.
when I launched my leadership race, I literally had the same language in my leadership launch speech that I had put in that essay 22 or 23 years earlier. And when I was part of the Harper government, we basically fought for and did the same things then that I'm proposing to do now. So as much as you can be assured of anything any political leader says, I've got evidence to back it up.
Okay, so one of the things that's been very distressing to observe, I would say, and I'm going to use the UK as an example. I mean, the UK had 14 straight years of Conservative government.
Yeah.
And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, thank God for that, because it could have been Labour. But having said that, they fell 100% prey to the blandishments of the net zero types and brought forward really a catastrophic energy policy. And the UK is suffering dreadfully for that. And their immigration policy, I mean, Keir Starmer apologized for it, which was something remarkable to behold, and so did Kemi Badenoch, who now runs the Conservatives in the UK. Now, the reason I'm bringing them up as an example is because, well, they were a Conservative government, and they certainly didn't govern by anything approximating Conservative principles. And so how do you feel about the probability that if the Conservatives in Canada take power, that they'll be enticed into this global utopian delusion that seems to have enveloped so many leaders, kind of regardless of their political stripe? What do you think, if anything, can inoculate you or has inoculated you against that?
I know better.
Well, elaborate. What do you mean?
I'm not going to do that. And it will be hard, because the temptation will be, this is the mistake that conservative parties around the world have made countless times. They think, well, anybody who's got a conservative mindset is already voting for me, so I can go off and chase the ideas of my political opponents, and then everyone will love me, because I'll have the conservatives due to the fact that I have the name conservative, and then I'll have all these other people because I've embraced their contrary direction. And in the short term, it works, because you manage to have all of these people under, and all of the different political ideologies captured in one tent. But the problem happens when the policies are a disaster, and then people wake up and go, oh my God, my taxes are now up, the inflation is out of control, the deficit is spiraling, there's crime on the streets. So does the temptation exist to try and take on the political policies of the socialists in the short term? Sure, but it's one that I will fiercely resist, because I know that by the fourth year of my mandate, people would be enraged because their lives would be even worse. So,
I mean, perfect. And again, I'm going to cover a lot more of this. I have to get back to work. I'm making this video on my break, but I'm going to do this in multiple segments. But again, I really love what Pierre Poilievre said at the end there, where he just said, hey, listen, I'm not going to do what previous conservatives have done, because I know better. Because they come out and they say, hey, everyone, I'm going to do this, and then, everyone's going to love me and appreciate me, and therefore I'm going to you'll have so much more support. But as Pierre Poilievre says, it doesn't work because you're not going to get everyone to love you. You have to be who you are, and you have to stand up for what you actually believe in. And that's another thing that Pierre Poilievre really, I think, has done a great job convincing people that, hey, whether you like him or not, he seems to mean what he says. Which I think, again, to have a prime minister who actually cares about Canada and its people, we all know Justin Trudeau does not. So to have a man like Pierre Poilievre come out here, and I mean, Jordan Peterson's not asking him, easy questions here. He's really kind of, going after what Pierre Poilievre really feels deep down inside and how his brain works. And you're seeing, I mean, first of all, how well spoken he is. You're seeing how professional he is. He's not dodging questions. He's just giving you straight up, honest answers. And he really does seem like he seems like he actually cares about this country. Again, we have to make sure he does. We have to be right on his ass. Every time he makes a mistake or does something he shouldn't do, we have to call him out for it. And on the other side, when he does something we do like, we have to applaud it. And I thought he did a great job explaining there where Conservatives in the past have gone wrong, and he seems like he's aware of it, and he's not going to make the same mistake. Perfect. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I'm going to be releasing a video each day for the next few days. Considering tomorrow's the weekend, I do have the weekends off. I unfortunately do have a funeral to go to tomorrow, so there might be a little bit of a delay. But I'm going to do at least 1 or 2 videos each day over the next couple days, and then hopefully wrap this thing up by late Sunday or maybe even Monday. So stay tuned, guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you who watches. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps grow my channel. Also, let me know what you guys think in the comment section, because I do enjoy reading and engaging with your guys' comments. That'll be it for this one, guys, and I'll see you back very shortly for a new video.